your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always. It's been a long day, I mean a long week, maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot, ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling. Cocky and appealing, possibly revealing. Getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom. Something like a wonderland, understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn, I said we do it like this. Magic carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What is going on, believers and lunatics? I hope everybody's having a good morning. My name is Bleaves. This is Breakfast with Bleaves, and we are going to start off today with our price action on the Luna Classic chart. And guys, you can see right here, basically, I haven't said I told you so yet, but if you followed my video yesterday and you were watching for it, then what I said was we were looking for this move to happen, that we would go up like this. Maybe out a little bit. That probably pushed it out just a little bit more. But guess what's happening right now? We're starting to make that move, and it looks like that we should have some sort of positive upside kind of move here. The market, by the way, just so everybody understands, the market has been just kind of adding $1 billion just every once in a while. I look up and I just see another $1 billion has entered the market. So it kind of feels like we're starting to see a little move to the upside starting to happen everywhere. Now, if you look at Bitcoin right here, you're not seeing it in Bitcoin yet. It's kind of weird because normally you would expect to see mostly that it goes into Bitcoin. And you haven't really seen it kind of enter Ethereum yet. You have seen it kind of move into Luna. You've kind of seen a little bit of a move to the upside on the Luna 2.0. You've seen it on Matic a little bit, but you know, I mean, it's kind of rare that you see. But I keep seeing this money moving back into the market for the last little while. So you know, maybe this plays out into a good. Maybe this is the start of a rally. Now, a lot of people are talking about this being the start of a rally. You can see over here on the DXY. Now, the DXY on the hour chart, by the way, has been looking pretty big. It's almost back up here to some of those highs that we had just recently. And then you saw it kind of move to the downside. 4-hour chart looking like this. The day chart is out of control. So, you know, depending on the way that you're looking at it, you might be seeing some weird stuff happening. But the important thing is that I think that when this all plays out, I think that we play out to the upside on Luna Classic. And let's face it, we just got our burn notification, burn notice, if you will. And the burn notice was not looking the greatest. It was 3 billion on Binance. Come over here to the top burners, and you see that they have added to now 8.6 billion. And you come down here into your burn ticker, and you can see that there it is right there. Binance burned 2.9 billion Binance tokens in the last 7 days. Now, just to give you guys an idea of how this would play out, if you had Binance actually doing what Binance, you know, would hopefully have done, which is to burn the 1.2% on the supply chain, on or off, by the way, on or off. if that had happened, you'd be looking at, remember, this is 0.1%, and the amount that's supposed to be burned is 1.2%. So if you took this and this is one of the issues that people are having, because when you look at this number, 2.992 billion, right, times 12, because it would be 12, a factor of 12 higher, means that in the course of this week, we would have 35 billion tokens being burned by Binance just this week at 1.2% burn, as opposed to the roughly billion tokens that we're getting right now. Not to mention, if we had taken this 8.6 billion right here, multiply that by a factor of 12, again, very simple math, and we would have burned 103 billion tokens so far. So if you really want to get an idea of what the burn capacity is, then that would give you a good a good idea of what that burn capacity is. So the Binance burn, 2.9 billion this week. That's with, by the way, that's with 7 days instead of 4 days, as people were talking about before. Now, I thought it was 5 days. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a difference. I thought that we had probably seen the maximum number. And then if you come over here and you look, you can see from the USTC number over here and the Luna Classic number that the volume is up back to 480 million, and we were kind of at 480 million anyway, at a minimum to begin with. So the volume had traded so lightly for a couple of days that it was starting to move so far down that the burn rate was just a week ago. Remember, our burn rate up here was close to 1 billion, or not our burn rate, but our trading volume was close to 1 billion, and that steeped way down here in the 250 million. Still significant as a large cap token, but it just wasn't enough. But here you can say that the market cap has maintained at 1.8 billion. So when we get on a run, when we actually get on the run, and there's like a legitimate catalyst to create some enthusiasm, then you can look at all these numbers right here and you can see what sort of parabolic move there could potentially be. And I'm not saying that it's going to be I'm not saying it's going to be life-changing in a day, but there's significant numbers and significant data right now to show that we've got some tremendous potential upside that's about to happen here. Now, if you've been sleeping under a rock, there was a proposal from Zerodar, and Zerodar, as you know, is one of the more important of the developers. He is the he's the nerd of the nerds. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy that does all the smart level stuff. And he has come up with a proposal for the Terra Classic USTC repeg. And the one thing that you have to consider, by the way, and this is like very, very, very important, and it cannot be understated. This over here, this right here, is potentially what we would say insurmountable. But look what's happening right now. That the Terra Classic USTC is up to 4,066 right now, up 37%. So guys, I think that I think there should be some recognition here that this thing is running, and it was up to 4.2 a little while ago. It's up to 4.15. So there's a possibility that there's going to be a run on it right now, but you have to look at the numbers here, right? Market cap 399 million, volume 180 million, fully diluted 419 million, not even close to the billions and billions that are needed in order to make something happen, right? So that idea puts this right here. To further compound the problem of applying quantitative easing strategies, we have our 10 billion debt mountain waiting to tear down any bull run with an avalanche of speculative mercenary capital, which is patiently awaiting the repeg of UST to $1. Now, what that means is there are 9.8 billion USTC tokens right now that are sitting there waiting to be repegged to $1. Now, since the maximum level that you could possibly get to is $1, right? We're not going to go over $1 with that. Then we have to go back and we have to look and, like, just for example, I have 365 Luna Classic right now. My stake is still the same, 77,200, but I have another 268 over here right now, right? So 268 plus 365 means I have 638, right? So I have 638. If this repeg to $1, I have $638. Or, I'm sorry, I have 20 over here. Losing my mind. All right, so I have 20 over here and I have 260 over there. I have $287. I wouldn't cash out $287 if I had it and I didn't need it for anything. I mean, come on. Like, this is the best thing you can do is do what I'm going to do right now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to withdraw my rewards, right? Let's withdraw our rewards while we're live on stream. We're going to do this one. So we'll make this transaction on station. All right, so we've confirmed it. Now we go over here to my wallet, and then in my wallet, I have 77,606 lunk, and then I have 288 USTC, and I'm going to take the USTC because, look, I don't think there's any value in it long term. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm just going to throw in and get another 37,720. You know what? Let's do 282. Just in case, so that there's enough to pay for any fee, right? And then we're going to post that as a transaction. And this will give me just a little bit more Luna Classic that I can then go back in here and restake, right? So I'm going to go over here. Now I have 114,000 more Luna Classic. So I'm going to go into the staking mechanism here. And we're going to go with Vegas. Here we go. So we're going to delegate what I have over here. And we're going to leave out 100 Luna Classic so that I can pay for shit when I need to, like voting. And then we're going to post it. All right, now my situation has improved just a little bit. I now have 10,598,869. And I just staked everything and just increased my position on delegation and got rid of my USTC at the same time. So if I swap this Korean, I don't think, I think if I look at this, you get nothing for it. That has no value. And just so you guys know, when we do this, and by the way, just for anybody who has not been paying attention, when we relaunch Station, there will be Luna Classic, USTC, and that's it. The Korean stablecoin, the European Union stablecoin, none of these will exist anymore. It will just be USTC. So that's going to be the only peg that there will be. So everything will be done with those two transactions, either Luna Classic or USTC. Other tokens, by the way, will get added as time goes by. So we're not saying that that's just going to be the way that it is forever and ever. Amen. But why do I have 114,000 that I didn't do? Son of a bitch. Did I not do all of it just now? Well, that sucks. Let's delegate. We're going to, oh yeah, we're good. We're good. 300. Okay. So just didn't update in time. Anyway, so, yeah, so going back here, we owe $10 billion basically. So if I have, just imagine there's somebody sitting out there right now with $1 million in USTC. He's got 1 million tokens, right? Don't think he's not going to cash out the moment this thing hits $1, right? So there is an insurmountable amount of perceived value with this repeg. People are going to go out of their way to hide their tokens, take them off the chain, to do everything they can to try to make sure that they get a gigantic sort of value for what it is that they're doing here. And I mean, that's what people do, right? That's a testament to who people are most of the time. So as we see this run start to happen, then we have to realize that, these people, there's no way to overcome $10 billion, right? A situation that would most likely result in a need for further quantitative easing Kool-Aid down the road and keep us on track to match the U.S. government's record-setting accumulated deficit of $31 trillion in order to sustain the growth cycle, unless additional measures were put in place to artificially reduce the USTC supply, which could only be accomplished via successful governance vote. And even if passed, the result most likely would be challenged legally in a court of law, dragging out the process for years to come. So that says for him that the obvious path is takes us on a much more painful journey that includes trials such as austerity in the form of burn taxes, interest rate increases on staking rewards by lowering the reward weight in exchange for increased lockup periods, and a massive effort to recapitalize Terra and Luna pools via sweat equity and partitioned pools. In essence, a form of quantitative tightening of our primary M2 money supply would lead to a significant reduction in circulating supply of both USTC and Luna Classic, while putting both value networks on a sustainable path to a lasting economic recovery. And then, I don't like the fact that he uses a lot of hyperbole and quotations to make you, to get you through this, combined with a razor sharp focus on attracting fresh capital to the Terra Luna pools via increased end user utility and rewards on staking that couple with a bump. So what he's saying is the opportunity to bring in more people to work on this blockchain or to create dApps for this blockchain. That's what they're looking to do. That will help erode the debt mountain and fuel the economic recovery of Terra Classic in a way that's both organic and sustainable. To enable this reality, we need to implement a new on-chain feature called Partition pools. Now, this is his big plan. This is the big plan that we're looking at right now. Okay, is to create partition pools, which will allow dApps to dynamically create their own nested capital partitions inside the Terra pool by paying a LUNC-based fee to the platform, form of spam protection, which grants them an empty partition and their own commodity token. So instead of LUNC or Luna Classic, you could bring Volt over, right? And you can have a Volt token that's on this network, and that would be your governance token for your dApp inside this partition. And if you need to buy more Volt, then you would buy it with Luna Classic, and then it would convert over in this partition pool. And I don't know what the exchange rate would be on the token, but it would not be Volt, by the way. It would not be Volt as we see Volt now. This would be a partitioned level that was purchased with Luna Classic. It wouldn't be using the same smart contracts, same smart contract algorithm or anything like that. It would just have that name in the partition pool. And to help keep the partition pool stable, while allowing capital interoperability, dedicated remittance corridors would be established and monitored by the ABS keeper, which would throttle liquidity flows out of partition pools to ensure it does not exceed a certain percentage of the overall liquidity in the Terra Luna pools. Right? So the end result of that is I think there's about a $10 billion cap. So what they're saying is that there could be no way to take out more than a certain amount of money out of any one of those pools at any given time. So, whatever it is that you do on your pool, like if you set up a gambling website, or and that was the thing, if you did something like that, then, then this would be how the partition pools would work. They're trying to make sure that you have an ability over the long term to not just get wrecked. In order to attract the long-term capital investment needed to repeg USTC, we need to establish an anti-fragile market maker system that will incentivize new businesses to leverage existing platform infrastructure in a way that is conducive to positive network growth while being prohibitive in economic instability. I don't like when you look. If you're trying to speak to people, use the words that people understand, and using prohibitive of economic instability those don't mean anything to people who are just trying to figure out what's going on. To accomplish this feat, we will need to implement a host of new features that can enable us to establish additional capital controls. So what we're saying here is that you would have a swap. The main swap from the DApp would be Luna Classic, which would lead into a commodity. And then there would be a bidirectional swap that would lead to other commodity tokens where you might have in your partition pool that would be tradable with USTC. So in exchange, these businesses will pay a one-time fee to create their own partition pool, which is a use case, by the way, which is creating some sort of utility for the network by allowing it to host other tokens through a partition. There would be a swap tax known as a Tobin tax applied when commodity tokens exited the partition pools and would be converted into USTC, which would be subject to capital controls in the form of throttled rolling average as measured by the ABS keeper. Then there's the partial swap. For the partition pools concept to function for us to repeg USTC, it's imperative that partial swaps between LUNC and USTC are enabled with a 10 billion hard cap. And the proposal, by the way, for the 10 billion hard cap would be to prevent some kind of massive correction or a massive manipulation in the market. Remember, the one thing that we did have a problem with was that the limits on what you could do for USTC previously didn't exist, and that created the death spiral. So the whole idea here is to make sure that there is an opportunity here to make something out of nothing. Now, and I don't want to call it nothing, but as we walk around and as we look through here, let's face it, at this level of burn, we're going to be at this for a long ass period of time. So when was burn implemented? It was implemented a couple weeks now, right? So we're at the 23rd, right? So 17 days, something like that. So in 17 days, we're looking at a burn. The Lunatics token, by the way, had already been burned, right? So we're looking at maybe 1 billion a day being burned. So how many days does it take for 1 billion to become 10 billion when it starts at 6.9 trillion? And the answer to that is 6,900 days. The answer to that is 20 something years. So, or almost 20 years. So there's no path forward for insignificant. These are insignificant burns is basically what it's coming down to. Imagine this. Binance didn't even burn $1 billion a day. So with no path forward on this kind of burn and with minimal burn happening over here, there has to be different ways to burn more tokens. So that's what all of these proposals are. So my suggestion is very simple. Do what I'm doing. Set it and forget it. Just kind of put it over here. Put it into a staking pool so that you earn more, so that when it's worth more, you will have more. You know what I mean? Like, it's very simple. If a month ago, or whatever period of time before it was, I had 10 million tokens. If that goes up to 10 cents, that's worth $1 million. Well, now that's worth $1,059,880. So, if there is a path forward, if there is an opportunity, mine is staked, and the path forward would allow me to make $59,000 plus that $1 million on what I have staked right now. That's crazy. The amount of positive motion that represents, the amount of profit is just insane. So for me, I'm just going to let this sit and look. I don't need this money, right? Like, this is a pie in the sky wish. This is not my investment portfolio. This is a side play that I created a long time ago when all of this stuff collapsed. So like, I literally made by the way, my MetaMask wallet got hacked and I lost all the BNB that I made off of this. But like, I started with like 7 BNB and turned it into 21 BNB. and then bought back in with 1.7 BNB to get 10 million Luna tokens. And I thought that's just going to be my little nest egg to hold on to forever, just in case, right? And then I'm just going to squirrel it away. So what I did was I went into the portal, I went into the bubble, and I moved everything over here. And now I used the Terra wormhole in order to take my stuff over before they disabled it. So I brought mine over at 10 million, put it in, and it's just been sitting here this whole time. And then as soon as validators were able to get up and running, then I just gave it to validators, and now I have 598,869 more. I mean, consider this: if we're looking at $1 and we think that $1 is a doable thing, and we've done the math on it, and it's about the burn at this point. Okay, if you just look at the burn to get to $1, if we come up with a mechanism by which we can do that, that's $598,869 if I waited for this thing to go to $1. I mean, that's not insignificant. And the way I look at it over here, like if I'm just paying attention to it long term, then I'm saying this is $54 that I just made just for doing this a few minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of additional, and now it's 70. You see what I'm saying? Like it just continues. And I'm not saying that we'll ever do that. I'm saying that the path to $1 is possible. The path to 10 cents is possible. The path to a penny. All of these are incredibly possible. And I've been able to make this play and add 8 million more in other wallets. So, I feel good about the future, and I'm involved with people who are familiar with everything going on, quote unquote, behind closed doors. So like, I'm super happy with my position. And I think that, given some time, it's going to be pretty good. So let's move on. Let's look at the Dow overnights. Let's kind of get an idea of where this market is going. It was down, by the way. And I tell you what, around midnight, 100 we were down 152 on Dow futures, and now it's up 124. Some of these guys who have been talking about we're going to go on a run this week they understand what's going on. And where's the best place to stake Luna Classic? That you go to the validators. There is a video on how to. I guess I should probably post this as. I should probably post this thing once a day. It is. Whoops. All right, here's a video right here, and it's how to transfer your tokens to station. Then I show you how to delegate. It's actually very easy, right? All you have to do, just go to this video over here, follow that process right there, and it's gonna be easy. Like it's really not complicated. Matter of fact, I'm gonna post it on Twitter right now. And that goes to Twitter. There we go. So if you follow me on Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should be following me on Twitter. But my Twitter handle is @BelievesCrypto. You can follow me over there, and then there's a video up right now that tells you how to do that. You have to go through a portal. Once you go through the portal, then you're able to delegate to a validator. Validators charge about 5% of whatever you make, so there are so it does cost, but it's not that much. Like it's really not. It's with your rewards that you're getting, right? So it's definitely not a bad deal. All right. So anyway, as we look, the market is about to open. So we're going to see this Dow Jones, which is up here, and it just popped 157. So it looks like the Dow Jones is going to be on a run. Now that run is probably going to extend over here I'm on the day chart, but if we look at the 1 hour chart, then what we've seen here is we get on the hour chart there. And then we start looking at these, then we're going to start seeing these greens, these reds get eaten, I think. And then we'll start seeing some green ones popping up. And same thing over here. But guys, remember that, I'm just kind of guessing based on where this was. And, even looking at this, I think it extends back. Like there's enough chop and stuff throughout here that this is a point of contention. And so is this one. Kind of as you go through here, you probably see it's sort of pointing, maybe not. But I do think that we're going to have this move up here. And I don't think it matters, by the way. If it mattered before, in order for the burns to happen, we've now established that Binance, Binance doesn't give a shit. All Binance cares about is Binance. So can you send your Luna Classic from L Bank to Station? First of all, you can't just transfer it to a Terra wallet. Okay. What you have to do is you have to follow the video that I just posted, and it will take you through the process. And what it's going to do is it's going to unwrap your Luna Classic, because what you're storing in your wallet over here on Station is just pure Terra Luna Classic. You have Luna C. That's it. Okay. So this is not / pegged with USDT or BUSD or USDC. It's not pegged with anything. This is just pure Luna Classic. So in order to get that over here, you have to unwrap it because it's wrapped with something else. That's why I posted the video of how to do it through the portal. What the portal does is it unwraps whatever it was that you had connected or tied to it, and it removes that from the mix. And then you can take your pure Terra Classic and then you can move it into your wallet. And what you're going to do in the portal bridge, by the way, is you're going to import your Terra wallet anyway. You're going to put that in there, that's where the money's going. And then you're going to put the wallet that it's coming from. So it's going to be from and to, and then it's going to just and it's just going to unwrap it, and then it'll go into Terra. And then from Terra, you're going to go over here to stake. And when you get in here, it'll ask you if you want to delegate, and then you're just going to delegate. So it's very simple. You have to remember to keep out like 100 or so Luna Classic just to pay for fees and stuff like that. But, full disclosure, when you consider the amount of fees, right? And you consider the total here, if you look at what I staked over here, remember, we did this a few minutes ago. We cleaned this out and already have 100 tokens. So like I've literally, in the course of 12, 15, 18 minutes, in 18 minutes, we've made 100 Luna Classic with 10.5 million. And I don't have a lot. So yeah, I think we're in, I think we'll be in good shape. But in the meantime, let's go over here and we're going to stop Luna Classic for just a few minutes. We're going to go look over here. By the way, got my DeConnect hat on, if anybody didn't see that one. And I've got a new class coming out on DeConnect, and it is basically, I don't know if it's out yet, but it's what is crypto? How do you buy crypto? Where do you store crypto? No, it's not out yet. There's the deck of mega spaces, by the way. If you didn't watch that, if you didn't listen to that, that's all the different tokens that we were doing, by the way. And there is a quiz on it. So you can actually go in there, listen to the deck of mega spaces, and you can earn crypto for completing that one as well. So that's pretty neat. Anyway, so Hulk is up 6.2%. Terra's up 1.5%. Boxa trading sideways. MMA is down again. DeConnect is down 1.4. Phoenix is down a little bit. Wagme's down a little bit. Shift is down a little bit. Volt and Saitama, guys and girls, God damn it. Okay, so dun, 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 dun. All right, so here we go. Saitama. I don't know what you guys know about Saitama. I don't know if you follow Saitama or not, but holy shit. Okay, so let's get this chick over here. Now, she's been kicked off. Ah, that sucks. Okay, so let's go over a couple things. First of all, CML 4097907. This was Russ's ex-wife. Russ is the COO of Saitama, if you don't know. Okay, so he apparently, I guess we got to go to Failtron now. There we go. All right, so this right here, Saitama, Russ's wife, speaks out. Now, this is the lady that posted stuff about Mama's new whip. This is the person that posted just all kinds of like crazy stuff. And this over here is Russ, if you haven't seen him, right? And what she does is she says, hey, yeah, so here's some of the stuff right here. No, people didn't get copies of it, so now we're just posting some of this. All right, so anyway, hold on. I'm glad I took screenshots of it all. Anyway, so just to be clear here, okay? So Saitama at one point was a $7.7 billion market cap cryptocurrency, right? And so his wife comes out, and this is her verifying from Facebook, which we knew this was her Facebook because this is where she did Mama's new whip and did all this stuff that she was talking about, on and on and on and on and on, right? So what happens is she is now the jilted ex. There wasn't anything to show. Let me see if we can get it. I'm sure there's people that took the screenshots. So we'll start to see some screenshots coming here soon. But anyway, so what was happening was okay, so here's by the way, full disclosure, I have exited my position because I don't want to be a part of this shit. I don't care what's going on anymore. Like, look, I mean, I have been the most, not the most positive person, but I've been one of the most positive people about Saitama all this time. Like I've joked around about it. I've tried not to say too many bad things, right? Just, give it a chance. But yeah, so this shit gets crazy. So here's what happens. Russ decides that he's leaving his wife, or his wife decides that she's leaving him. So it's Russell and Christina. Now, turns out there's a third girl here named Samantha, who Russ is now with. Now, Russ the other day posted this post that says, for any of y'all travel to Dubai, part of my stint, Berkshire Hathaway. God damn it. So feeling extremely aggravated. This is where it starts, right? Feeling extremely aggravated. Spent the last couple of days trying to reroute flights since the airline would not accept a photo of my vaccine card. Took a PCR and just now got the results back. Now there's no flight that puts me into Dubai prior to the weekend. Have the worst luck. Spent the last 72 hours in and out of airports, rerouting flights and airlines, awaiting PCR just to find out it's all for nothing. Extremely disappointed in these restrictions not being consistent across the board for international travel. Now, so then, now, by the way, at this point, he's like not there. But, this thing's going on, blah, blah, blah. So then his wife starts coming out and saying, "You lying. You're lying. You're not there. You're in Jamaica." Let's see if Russ Jamaica comes up here, because there were pictures of it everywhere, coming from her, and I think people were just, kind of retweeting her pictures. But the issue was that instead of going to wherever it was that he was supposed to be going, he went to Jamaica with this girl Samantha, which is supposed to be his wife's best friend. And you're like, oh my God, his wife's best friend. No, 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 mon frere. No, 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 because it gets better. Does it get better? She then says in the spaces yesterday, oh yeah, by the way, we were having threesomes because, I mean, you guys just don't know. I mean, that's kind of thing that happens. And apparently that was what was going on over there. And yeah, they were wait a minute, what about Ponzi? I think Ponzi was posting it too. But they were talking about he was over in Jamaica and was posting videos in Jamaica with this girl, and she's blocked there. Yeah, she blocked him. Oh, here we go. Honk. No, that's not it. Yeah, here we go. Here's one of them. This is them out in the field. This is Russ's Lambo. This is the girl that we're talking about, her new whip. Then there's them posing. But I guess he didn't get it. But anyway, there were some pictures of Russ in what was supposed to be Jamaica, doing what can only be described as Jamaican shit, I guess. So the whole thing and the whole idea here was they were he is completely jacked up on drugs. That's what she says. She was allowing him to have a threesome with her and her best friend, and now he was more interested in the best friend than her. They're getting divorced. Then when asked to say that things were scams or not, she would just be like, yeah, I don't know anything about crypto, but yeah, scam. Then for example, she says she's talking about Jake Gagan, and Jake Gagan's a buddy of mine. So somebody says, yeah, I just want to know, is Jake Gagan, was he one of those paid people? And she's like, well, he was, I only met Jake one time. He was like our hype man for and they're like, oh, so he was. And she's like, well, I mean, he was the hype man for the Vegas event. And when I met him, the only time I ever met him, he was super drunk. Right. So he was not the hype man, by the way. Like, Jake ended up getting drunk going to party with Saitama, and then Steve from Rocket Crypto didn't show up. So Jake Gagan started to having to film it, and he was super drunk. Right. So they were trying to get her to say that Jake Gagan was a paid shiller for Saitama, and Saitama never paid people to shill the product. They paid people to FUD other projects, right? And she apparently she didn't have the receipts for that, but I know multiple people that she were paid to do that, right? That they were like, yeah, they would give me they would offer me like 1 trillion tokens. This is back before they reduced their supply, but they would offer me 1 trillion tokens to FUD some other project and stuff like that, right? One of them so far is, and listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's got to be pointed out because I didn't before. One of the paid people who was paid to do that stuff is this guy right here, who was also running the Saitama Russ's wife speaks out, right? So all of that being said, and she never says, oh yeah, and Faltron was one of those people. Oh yeah, and Jonathan P.R. Torres was one of those people. Oh yeah, and Kelbell was one of those people. So the people that were actually getting paid, that we knew were getting paid, she didn't say anything about it. So I do question at least some of this that was going on. Well, then you have We Are Saitama, who then says, well, I guess we're going to have to address a little bit of FUD here. And then they hold their own spaces, and maybe they didn't hold it there. It was going to be Saitama Guru number one. Yeah, so then here's their we'll hold a quick spaces to clear up a few false allegations. And of course, they said, hey, listen, what I do in my private, what Russ basically said was, he didn't say I didn't do it. He just said, what I do in my private time is my own private business. And, you know, I'm not going to get into my private life out here in public space, right? So basically, here's what you have. Here's what you is a bunch of crybaby whiners, right? Failtron, Smellbell, you know what? All these people, right? All of these people are just crying because they're desperate. I mean, they're just desperate to make sure that they offered they funded this project because Russ and his wife are getting a divorce, right? It's pretty, and it's my understanding that even anybody who works at a company as a CEO, I mean, I don't think that what's going on here is incredibly uncommon. The difference is it's in a crypto space. Why did you keep it a secret that they offered? They never offered me any tokens. I've never been offered tokens by Saitama. In fact, they've never paid anybody. It's my understanding that they've never paid anybody for anything other than to FUD other projects. Nobody was paid by Saitama to be positive or to be out here on YouTube doing anything. The only people they were paying were the people that were talking shit about other projects. And I'm not sure other than I mean, I definitely know it was Faltron because they gave Faltron money and they gave them Dr. Praveen Budiga's wallet from Terrarium so that he could then FUD him and share his personal information with everybody. Like they literally doxed one of their investors because he decided to invest in his own project and not their project. So, but again, none of us have received money from Saitama in order to promote it. Now, and let me go back here. I'm told that nobody has. Classy never got paid. Jake never got paid, or so Jake says. And I mean, look, I don't know everybody's finances. They offered to FUD. They didn't offer me to FUD. Jesus fucking Christ. Are you okay? If you're having a stroke, we can take a moment. Nobody offered me anything. What I said was, I know a couple of people who were offered money to do it. I didn't say I knew people who do it or did it. I do know one person who did 100% absolutely, and that is Faltron, because Faltron got the information from Saitama on Dr. Praveen from Terrarium, and then he doxed him. Now, Faltron is the same guy. Okay, I don't care about your opinion because listen, if you do that, then everybody FUDs every other project. Because somebody's FUDing something or because somebody's doing something like that, that's not a reason to disinvest in something. It's whether or not they have a product or a use case that's worth investing in. And if you decide that that's not the case, then get out of it. Because look, in corporate, there's corporate sabotage that goes on nonstop in every business. There's not some kind of exclusive, there's not some kind of exclusivity on shitty people in cryptocurrency that applies only to Saitama and a couple of different places. If you don't like something, don't invest in it. That's fair enough. But just because somebody's shitting on the product and because somebody's doing some shady shit, look, there's shady shit going on from all kinds of different tokens. You just don't know about it. This is just one where they can't keep a secret and you know about it. And you know about it because Faltron was the one that did it. And the reason that I know about it is because Faltron did it. The other ones are allegations. Again, I know 3 people who told me they were offered tokens. They didn't take them, but they even told me the amount that they were offered. So that's gotta mean something, that they're, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And to be fair, like, you know, the Saitama people have always seemed like a bunch of goombas that would probably do something like that. Now, here's the thing. Does their money spend differently? No. So why wouldn't you invest in something if you think that those guys are going to make you money? Like, that's nonsense. So here we are. However, because this drama is never ending and nonstop, I gave up and I got out and said, you know what, forget this. No matter what happens going forward, like I just don't care anymore. I tried to invest. I said twice, I said good things. I said, listen, I'm going to give them a chance. I'm going to sit here. I put one ETH back in. Let's see what happens. And, you know, instead of that, I got another crazy bunch of stuff. And it's just constant crazy stuff. So I think I'm done. Let's go look at Blocktopia, by the way. Get off of Saitama now. So if this is what it looks like, then that would be awesome. The one thing that I've learned, by the way, in these things is I should probably wait to see what it actually looks like before making any decision. Because, by the way, I want you guys to look at this, and then I want you to go home, and I want you to get on your Oculus 2. Hopefully, everybody's got at least an Oculus 2, and I want you to see if this game runs on Oculus 2. And the answer to that, no. So it does not run at the same. Look, there's a lot of art. See all of these reflections and stuff like that. That's not going to run on an Oculus 2. So I would be concerned about that right away. Now, looking at it from a computer aspect and not from a VR aspect, maybe. But listen, these things like this are the future. These things like this are the future. So I would not bet against this, but I mean, again, like I need to see it working before anything else. So and to be fair, like the fact that it's on Polygon, I don't know. Yeah, GTX 4090, but you can't use that on your Oculus Rift. That's the point. Like, this is a metaverse. That's why they're showing you with the headgear on, and like that's gonna be tough. But again, I mean, you know, if they work out the kinks in it, and this is a good metaverse game, then I mean, I would, if it's a good VR game, I would absolutely be in. You know what I mean? Like, that would be cool as shit to me. No, yeah, no. They offered people allegedly money to FUD, and the only reason I know that it has to be true was because of Faltron. I knew Faltron for a fact was doing it, and I had even heard the story behind the scenes about he was given the information from Russ. He says, by the way, and not Manny. Originally, the story was Manny, but Faltron did clear up that he got the information directly from Russ. And like, I don't care where he got the information from. I mean, again, I have my own personal opinion. Espionage and shit like that, that's how business is done. Unfortunately, it might be a sad fact of business, but that's how some of this business is done. So, you know. All right, so it looks like we're having a little drawdown instead of getting a moon, because it wouldn't be that easy, right? But you guys should take heart in this. By the way, so this is a little thing that I've been following for a while now, and this is the top of the chart, and then it was the bounce that we got right here, and you can see, by the way, that this bounce ended up doing this right here as we were in the 40s. It hit support, hit, but it couldn't go over this line, right? So this line is probably a bull symbol. Then it came down, few months passed. Then we hit, and we perfectly hit this line one more time on that little run up to 23,000, 22,000. So boom, we hit it again. This was August and September and stuff like that. We hit it again over here, right? Then we hit it again just recently, and then finally, for the first time since the top of the market, we've gone over. Not only did we go over, but we hit it once to test for support. Then we hit it again to test for support. We hit it a third time testing for support. Now we're off of the support line and we're on to this 19,333 line. So maybe we've reached the bottom. Maybe this is just an example of, even though we didn't reach that bottom again, that, because it was 17,567, but that right there might be representative of the closest we're going to actually get to that bottom. Although, to be fair, at this point, this line actually extends out to, if we keep going for, another month or so, and we don't get a nice big lift, then it might be that this line goes down under and we start to see those new lows. But as of right now, we're not going to see those new lows that way. So, but anyway, so yeah, Saitama be crazy, dog. So anyway, back to Luna Classic, because we're going to wrap it up with that. So the market seems to be struggling just a little bit. The Dow is up. It's in the green for the day so far. So we're up, but the SPY is still down just a little bit. DXY is pumping. That's on the day chart. The 1 hour chart still showing a green candle on the daily. Strength in the market. Nice, but we certainly want to see a crypto pump. And so far, all we've seen is crypto dump, and we're seeing it again, even though we're starting to get some positive in the market. So, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to. I'm sure that there's a thirst right now for people to take on risk. People do want to make some money. People absolutely want to make money, but bond yields are high. Stock market is dodgy, and maybe when they put their money in, that's going to be the first place, because it always is. But we're going to start to see some money moving over to Bitcoin. And that's going to be where it starts. Of course, it doesn't mean that it's going to be in other tokens, but when it goes into other tokens, then it does drag the rest of the market along. So, all we got to do is have a little patience, and I think that that's what we're going to see. But anyway, it's now 9 o'clock, so it is my time. Guys, it's not financial advice. My name's Bleaves. I am always right. If you're having, listen, the best piece of advice I could do is, if you're having threesomes with your wife and her best friend, don't leave your wife for the best friend. If you do some of that Tony Montana shit, allegedly, don't share that with people. Don't tell people, like, Jesus Christ. Show some decorum. Remember that any of that crazy shit that you do does fall back possibly or potentially on investors. At least have a little respect for those investors, so that they are not getting wrecked along with you. That being said, you guys have a good day. We will see you again tonight for Bedtime with Bleaves, and have a good day in your trading. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of positive action. If it still feels like we're going to see a positive day. So let's see what happens, and we'll talk to you again tonight.